Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, you're so lucky because as promised, Chris and I went on and we talked about funny stuff, topical stuff, and weird shit. You know, like where did that story come from? It's so funny. And then, like I said, we have the stars from Vanderpump Villa spilling all the tea, which will be very insightful and you'll love it. And it's juicy and fun. So let's get into a great Juicy Scoop episode. Jordan. Hudson.
She's amazing.
I mean, it just doesn't stop with this one. So she is Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Right.
There was a rumor, or not a rumor, there was an article that then UNC, where he teaches, said it's not true, that she was banned.
Yeah, I did hear that.
But then they said that's not true.
Did you see the videos of her like down on the field in like white boots and a big long jacket?
With the snakeskin jacket?
Yeah, and she's fixing his microphone and stuff. I mean, it is like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But so then with all that she's doing, she has $8 million in property that she just happened to attain in the last year and a half. Mm-hmm. Then, still was an acclaimed cheerleader, according to her. Uh-huh. An award-winning cheerleader, is helping with his book, launching his book, helping with PR, helping with the UNC football team.
Right.
She still managed to sign up for the Miss Maine USA pageant for her city.
So had she won there, she would have been in the Miss USA pageant or Miss America.
She would have been Miss Maine.
Yeah.
And she would have been, and something was interesting about it is, Miss USA and Miss America. Heather, what's the difference? Well, let me tell you.
Oh.
The easiest difference is Miss America is a little more legit.
I think
in that you have to do a talent.
Oh, still? I thought they got rid of that. No, maybe not.
I believe you still have to do a talent. And when we would watch it, my mom would be like, a singer always wins. I go, why? She goes, do you think someone wants to bring a big cello to a brunch? Like a luncheon, like they'd show up at a luncheon, point. Someone needs to bring a cello. Like if you can sing, it's just a better thing.
Yeah.
So like Vanessa Williams was Miss America and she sang. Mm-hmm. And then the photos came out of her going down on a girl in Penthouse. Mm-hmm. And
remember it well.
Talk about something that absolutely... Who remembers any Miss America? She's the only Miss America I can say. Good for her.
I know.
Great. So anyway, she is. People could vote for. I never heard so she was.
A call-in voter?
I don't know, but I was reading these articles being like, oh, her numbers are down. Her numbers are down. But apparently she came in third or something, which is not bad.
But I don't think she could make the. Yeah. So now.
No. So she's not runner-up and she didn't win.
Yeah.
So now, and he was there.
He was front row.
And they had, she kissed him, and they had, their moments together.
Doesn't this man have, but he has other family members, right?
He has, married he has a 40-year-old daughter.
Doesn't anybody grab this old fool and go, listen, snap out of it. What are you doing? If people keep saying, yeah, but she's hot. I'm like, all right, all that aside. This is ludicrous. This man was a 7-time Super Bowl champion, or close to, I think 7. And now his legacy is just this ridiculous. Him wearing a torn up sweatshirt
to look hip him up.
To look hip. I know, and then So I feel like I don't know why nobody's really I feel like he's being elderly abused or something almost. I know it's not, but
I just think it's crazy that she still went along with this pageant.
I know. I thought it was a joke when I saw that.
I was like, how can this be?
Yeah. I feel like she's beyond that at this point. Why do some cheesy pageant in Maine? She's a big star now. She's in a Dunkin' Donuts.
For the same reason I did it. This episode of Juicy Scoop is brought to you by Booking.com. Listing your vacation rental on Booking.com opens the door to more guests. Booking.com is one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world. That makes it the place to list your vacation rentals if you want to earn more with consistent bookings, reach new markets, and turn hosting into a steady income. I love Booking.com. The reach is global, the bookings are consistent, and the control is yours. For the bookings you've dreamed of, list your property on Booking.com.
You did it? Which one?
You act like you don't know the story. People that have been listening to Juicy Scoop for 10 years are going to drive their car into a lake if I tell the story one more time.
The Valley's.
Well, you should get a hard-on for it because it's your hometown, Miss Tarzana. They didn't have a Miss Woodland Hills. They had a Miss Tarzana because whoever the realtors were that were friends with my mom that wanted to, the wife wanted to have her own pageant. So she was like, there isn't a Miss Tarzana. So as long as you live anywhere kind of near, you didn't have to like have a Tarzana like address. There's no like, it's not like we're running for office, you know? So then she decided to find like 25 girls that wanted to be in the pageant.
Wow.
We had it at the Marriott Warner Center. And she like loved me and basically told me I was like gonna win.
You could be Miss Tarzana.
And I didn't even make top 10.
Oh no!
And then at the last minute, this girl flew in from Wisconsin, knew that she could win it, and she did win it.
But wait, not from Tarzana.
I know they don't care because the people voting were just like a modeling agency. They were all grifters. They were all like trying to get us to like get headshots with them after, which I did. And
you got grifted.
Modeling school, someone from like the weather girl from the local news. I don't know. They were the ones voting. So they just voted for the girl that was clearly the best. And she was, because she'd been doing pageants for years and she was just getting to the age where you couldn't do it. So she got to go to Miss California. Miss California was going to be at a hotel in Disneyland. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to film B-roll of us with our sashes going on the rides, and we'd be able to go to the front of the line.
Oh man.
That's why I wanted. I knew I wouldn't win Miss California, but I'm like, I think I can win Miss Tarzana and be on TV in the pageant, and then like on Channel 9, like some shitty channel.
And then get on Space Mountain
before.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a goal.
My whole life, I said one day, I just want to be rich enough to either rent out Magic Mountain or go to the front of the line. And then about 15 years ago, they said that you could have front of the line passes for a fee. And it and I was like, boys, get in the car.
Let's go.
And then but the problem is when you go on all those crazy rides and you don't have to wait the hour and a half and by the time you go on 3, you want to throw up. And the kids are like, we just want to go home.
Yeah, you don't
have time. I was like, no, we are going on the revolution. And I was like, it's crazy. It's not a good idea. You need the time in between.
You know, I worked with, once again at Mirabelle Restaurant in Sunset Boulevard, I worked with Miss Canada. Her name, I still remember her name was Dan, and she was dethroned as Miss Canada.
Why?
Because she punched a girl in a bar in like Newfoundland. Her name was Danielle House. You people can look it up. This is a real story. Her name was Danielle House, very pretty, and she was stripped of the crown and had to go down to Los Angeles trying to be an actress because she was shamed in Canada.
My mom used to. That's amazing. Yeah. And she should have been shamed and ended up in Hollywood. Yeah. But my mom used to always say, whoever wins Miss Congeniality or most photogenic will never win. And I go, why? And she was always right. Because she's like, because the girls are voting for her and they're like jealous of her. Okay. And it will not happen. It will not happen.
It is funny that we still have like in the world we live in today. I feel like that's one thing. It's almost comforting. It's almost comforting that they're still as dumb as they've ever been. They still look too pageanty, the girls.
Yes, too big of hair.
They dress them up.
Too.
Yeah. It's
And we used to, every time my dad would get the paper and pen out, we'd do our predictions and we'd watch it.
It was a big deal at our house too. We loved it.
And then my dad always thought it was so funny because even when I was little, I kind of was doing stand up. And he'd be like, let me ask you a question, Miss So-and-so. And I'd be like, sure. And it was always, I'd like to help those less fortunate than myself. Yeah. That was always like the line that,
Right. Good
and,
time.
Yeah.
Is there any video of her? Did they give her like a Q&A or something? Did she have to answer any questions?
They do have questions for USA. So there must be. But I mean, I can only do so much with my time to prepare for this, show.
Yeah.
But, I sold my house.
You did?
It's closing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Right, that's a good thing.
So it was kind of a crazy day yesterday, Mother's Day.
Okay.
We went for a last time walk around.
Well, my mother it was a big day at my mom and dad's house, both bad and good. They got the New York Times. I tried to send them. They love the New York Times.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I know, and they
Like
couldn't
a real
get it
paper.
anymore.
Oh.
They stopped selling it at the grocery store by their house,
Oh.
so they couldn't get it anymore. So they told me that when I was there a few weeks ago, and I said I'll send it to you. And they said, well,
Like
Christopher,
a subscription.
yeah, I'll send you the New York
Yeah.
Times. It'll be delivered to your door. And they said, well, people have tried. They can't find this house. So, sure enough, he was right. They couldn't find the house. So it was weeks and they hadn't gotten it. And now it was a nice gesture I was trying to do. And it was actually just angering them at this point because it was putting them, they're like, just cancel it. We don't need to think about it anymore. So finally it came yesterday. It couldn't have been it was the greatest Mother's Day gift of all time. Just coincidentally, it showed up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then I told them, and then they asked me if I wanted their urns of ashes, and I said no. And they were like, "Whoa, what?"
Well, which son does want it then? There's three others to choose.
All four of us said no. We don't want him. And they're like, "Well, nobody wants him, no." So because they're making their arrangements, so they're just gonna have a little locker in the church. And they said, we'll give you guys all the key. We said, well, we don't want that either. To go open it and just look.
I mean, there is a lot. Like as we were moving and stuff, it was like,
right.
Okay, so my mom has her mom's like photos and things like that.
Yeah.
So then my mom passed, and then I have them.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know who these people are from like 1925.
Right.
And I'm like, I think about my sons who really are not going to care.
They don't want it.
I'm like, so people are like, yeah, when do you like chuck like old black and white photos of like relatives on a T, on a
wild?
on a 1926 like T Ford, or what do you call it? Ford T? Whatever they
Model T.
Model T.
Yeah.
Like when do you just go? Like, I love you, and like, I don't know. It's
just
like
the memories.
it's so when I walked around the house, I walked in. I like went into the room that was like Brandon's baby room, which was, and I like walked, I was like, oh, there's the rocking chair. Here's where like standing up in the crib. Here's where I would have changed him. And I just did like this thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like taking, there was that song that Lily sung, like, it's getting hot in here. And I used to like take off his like sleeper. So take off all your clothes. That might have been Drake. I don't know. I just love that song. Anyway, I always think of that. And, and that was it. And then you just got to go moving on.
And then just throw out all the old pictures and stuff?
I haven't yet.
I mean, you kind of, but
I haven't yet. Well, you can do legacy box, which we're going to do, but I haven't like gone through it, but I really have to.
Yeah.
Because I know they're not going to want to. And I need to go through like what's a handful of cool ones. But you don't have to get rid of them. Like we have the room for it. And I still do like once in a while looking at them. So, but I'm talking about like my grandma's stuff.
Like beyond you guys. Yeah.
Yes. How would we know or care?
Eventually, we all just become an old photograph, right? In a sad way.
I know, like
nobody wants.
Well, when I pass like a big cemetery, I'm like, well, eventually the youngest person in there is going to be from like 1985. So who's going to visit someone who died in 1942? There is no way. Like we have to become like the Poltergeist movie. We're going to run out of land.
Yeah, I know. Are they going to dig up the body?
We're going to have to move the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think that'll happen?
I mean, it's happening now, probably. A lot of people, it's cremation now.
I know, but what about all those ones that are just acres and acres and like the nicest overlooking ocean?
I know.
Like, I guess you can't.
There's one out in Montauk in the Hamptons. There's a giant old cemetery in Montauk. I mean, these.
This is I know those. There's so many cemeteries in that wealthy area.
1600s. So
right.
It's just like, but
okay, this is what I would do if I owned the cemetery overlooking like the cliffs of San Diego. I would start now, each person that's buried there, trying to get a relative, a living relative that can somehow sign off on something.
Yeah.
And then, I know people are going to like, you're horrible, Heather. I'm just saying,
right.
If everybody then, if you had a grandma, okay, and you're the only one left, and they're like, your grandma's at this cemetery, or great grandma at this cemetery, and if you sign off and you're okay for us to move her so we can sell this land to like develop, you're going to get $52,000.
Oh, yeah, but now there's going to be one family member who's, methed out. But, absolutely.
Such a weird concept, but
Yeah.
whatever. I know life can get overwhelming and you just want to escape. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just slip into a whole nother world. So whether you need a break from the daily grind or just want to get lost in pleasure, Dipsea is your perfect escape. Dipsea is the audio app that lets you immerse yourself into spicy stories that transport you to your wildest fantasies. Dipsea is the female-founded app for spicy audiobooks and more. Created by women for the female gaze. What I love is their app is so easy. So you can explore all your favorite romance genres. So whether it's contemporary, historical, dark, sports, Western, romancy, lesbian, and more, they got you. Right now, Juicy Scoopers can get an extended 30-day free trial. Go to dipseastories.com/juicyscoop to start your free trial. That's DIPSEA stories.com/juicyscoop for 30 days of full access for free. Visit dipseastories.com/juicyscoop. This episode of Juicy Scoop is brought to you by Booking.com. Listing your vacation rental on Booking.com opens the door to more guests. Booking.com is one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world. That makes it the place to list your vacation rentals if you want to earn more with consistent bookings, reach new markets, and turn hosting into a steady income. I mean, over the past 25 years, they've helped more than 1.8 billion vacation rental guests find places to stay. So why not help them find yours? Booking.com also makes it easy for you to run your growing business so you can chat with guests, accept or decline bookings, and have total control over your property's calendar and finances. It's hosting on your terms. And the best part is getting started is super easy. In less than 15 minutes, you can register your property, and nearly half of partners get their first booking within a week. I love Booking.com. The reach is global, the bookings are consistent, and the control is yours. For the bookings you've dreamed of, list your property on Booking.com. Ladies, you know what is a great feeling? Is dumping your gross old underwear that don't really fit. Like the other night, I always sleep in underwear. And the other night, I'm like, wait, these aren't even like elasticy enough around my legs. And it actually kept my night horrible. And you know what I did? I took them off and I threw them away. I'm like, what am I doing saving on to this gross, ill-fitting underwear for so long? That is why I love MeUndies, because it's time to break up with your old undies and bralettes. They have a style for everyone, from all black classics to fun, expressive prints. MeUndies has a look for everyone. Plus, they come in sizes extra small to 4XL, guaranteeing a flattering cut for every body. Spring into comfort with MeUndies. Support Juicy Scoop by going to MeUndies.com/JuicyScoop and use my code JuicyScoop to get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. That's MeUndies.com/JuicyScoop, code JuicyScoop for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Okay, so Amber Heard had her twins. I don't know if she carried them or what, but she had twins.
Is she living in America? Is she abroad? I thought I recently read.
I know she has the one child with Elon, allegedly. I don't know if that was ever confirmed.
Well,
and
he
then
has like 22.
and I couldn't remember how they ever settled on their whole big thing. She had to pay Johnny a lot more, and then they settled, and he just said, just give me $1 million.
Yeah.
And I guess she did.
Okay.
But, the big thing is that, he got his reputation back. This, you could not write this. Elizabeth Holmes' partner has a new startup, and it's a blood testing company. So while she's in prison,
yeah,
she has 2 kids with her husband or partner, I don't know if they're married, that he's raising, and I believe he comes from a lot of money, and I mean, he looks a little odd. She is doing 11 years in some Texas jail with a real housewife of Salt Lake City who's also
Jen
there.
Shaw.
Jen Shaw.
See,
yeah.
I know.
See, they go.
Yeah.
So they're in prison together. And I understand starting another business, you have money, whatever.
Yeah. Can't do this one.
But that's the business? Oh, and there's some new show or some new play, and it's called One Drop. And people are like, Heather, because I always go, One Drop, but it's not. Again, I didn't predict it called One Drop. I'm just saying.
Right.
So, but supposedly she's going to help him with it.
Oh, good. Well, she knows the business.
I mean, yeah, the concept still is great.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. But
Right.
you'd think after everything, you wouldn't be like, can you just put your money in
Right.
something else? This is the startup that you want to do.
Right.
Crazy. Okay. Okay, this was crazy and a follow-up story. So Clayton, the man in the tie, he was a bachelor. After he was off the show, he was selling real estate, which I'm pretty sure that'll be the next thing, is that Oscar winners will have to get their real estate license.
Or
Because if they're too tired to do podcasts,
did you see the girl?
you're gonna have to get real estate license.
The
Yeah.
girl who was America's first top model. Remember, she dated Peter Brady for Adrian Curry.
Lima.
Adrian Curry.
Oh,
her name
Adrian
was. Remember
Curry.
they had like their own
Adrian
show?
Curry. Yeah.
Yeah, they had her
I
and
don't think
Peter
her last
Brady
name
had
was
their own
Lima.
show and stuff.
Yeah, they had their whole own shape.
She's now selling Avon in Montana.
Avon exists still. Okay.
Yeah, I know, in Montana, I guess. But yeah, she's selling Avon in Montana.
Hey,
Anyway,
do what you have to do. Not a
Yeah.
problem. Okay, so he had this crazy story, and I talked about it on a previous show with a guest of mine who had done a lot of research. And
Okay.
anyway, he went out with this girl who pretended to want to buy something, which as a realtor, early in my career, I'd have guys that just wanted to date me, and they'd get me all excited thinking that they wanted to buy something, and then I realized they don't.
Yeah.
So she did the same thing to him, but she did blow him twice.
Oh.
After that, according to him, she's like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, there's no way. Like, we actually didn't even have actual sex. She went on and said that she was and all this other stuff. And that she then was, and then he realized she had faked an ultrasound. He did like a reverse imaging, and it was something on Google. And then there were twins. And then in all the nightmare of it, he kept going to court. They kept not caring about his plight. She wanted money from him. She was ruining his reputation on the internet by saying he's impregnated me and abandoned me. Then a couple other guys come forward, and they're like, oh my God, she did it to me too.
Oh.
And she comes from money. Her dad was this famous radio host for like 45 years. And so she had money to but this was her kink, I guess.
So
was
is she
lying about
actually
pregnancy.
is she actually pregnant
No.
or she's not pregnant?
No.
Oh.
And it was very hard for him to prove, but he proved it. And
But
now,
can't you just prove that easily prove that she's not pregnant? And then it's over.
Yeah, but it was all the other things that she did to him and these other people. So she has been hit now with felony charges.
Wow.
Of fraud and all this other stuff. So that's a little update. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent like 3 years of this nightmare that I am finally going to see justice, because he was just not going to let it go once he found out there were other guys that were her victims. So here he was just saying a class 2 felony is what she's been charged with. Okay, Kanye West, what do you think is going on with him?
Oh, I mean, who knows? I don't even. What happened to Bianca Censori? I don't see her anymore around.
They broke up, but then they were seen out together, and then
Okay.
he was at a sex shop, and then he sent Kim a cease and desist. Then he said, "Oh, it's just a host, a hoax," and then he did say something awful about North.
Yeah.
2 awful things. One about one about her body and one about school, which I'm not going to repeat because it is just mean. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Kourtney Kardashian just did a social media ad for one of her latest gummies with
Alabama Barker.
well, Alabama Barker's her stepdaughter, but
Yeah,
she did it
I
with
know.
the girl that dated him, the one that's the muse.
Oh yes.
What's her name?
Yes, Fox.
Julia Fox.
Julia Fox. Yeah.
Something where they call each other and it's Julia Fox, and so of course it makes an article because I'm like, they can't
would they
believe
do- yeah.
Kourtney Kardashian is using Kanye West's ex-girlfriend. And
yeah.
I think it is to always put people in their world, because
Right.
then if they're filming the show, it can be like, why would you use Julia Fox on my She used to date Kanye. Then Julia Fox is such an interesting character. Maybe Julia Fox makes an appearance and the three of them have lunch and laugh it out because they all think he's a freak. And Lemmy Gummies are the best. Like, I think that I'm sure if Kim could ever get, Taylor Swift to squeeze her ass in some Skims, that would be a dream true. I think it's all just to but yeah, she never talks about him. She just goes to the Met. She never talks about all the weird shit he's doing and saying. She's just ignoring him.
Well, that's the way to go, I think.
I think so.
Have you had Khloe Kardashian's popcorn? She got a new line.
Protein popcorn.
Protein popcorn, yeah. Cloud with a KH.
I mean, Cloud. Smart.
Yeah.
Anything, used to be fat-free popcorn.
Yeah,
now it's about protein.
Remember all those fat-free ones? There was a thing called Olestra.
Yes. No, it was the fat-free chips, and it would just give you
and it made you,
diarrhea.
Yeah, diarrhea, and that immediately just took it off the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a couple of people like it. I think it's good. It's a genius thing to get into.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, good for her. This guy, this went viral in the New York Post, and just being that you're a dad. So he had 3 kids and a wife, and they just went to one day at one of the parks in Orlando.
Yeah.
And he added up the whole thing, and it was $1,391.
Yeah, 5 people. That's exactly what I know. I don't think that's that crazy. I know it's crazy, but that's the price.
Well, it was more about how he was like, the reason is just going one day, even with a Florida residence pass or a California pass, he believes the whole thing is to push you to go for 3 days and spend $5,000 and stay at a hotel.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, well, my God, if we're paying this much and we can't only go on 3 rides a day and this one's crying and this one's, are you guys into Disneyland?
We have not gone yet. We go to Universal Studios a lot. We have a pass for that, and we go
we
a
went
lot.
when we had our pass. When we worked on Chelsea, we would go all the time, and it was so fun and easy.
I love it.
Do you know every time relatives would come from the East Coast,
we
would only go to Universal Studios because to my parents, it just felt so much closer and easier than going all the way to Anaheim. To the point where I could literally do the Sir, Get Out of the Water. I could do the entire tour with Doing It, Jaws, and I'd been on it so many times.
We don't even go on the rides. My daughter was a little scared of some of them, so we just kind of walk around and she sees the characters and she likes that.
Isn't a pass the greatest? Because you feel why not? We stayed here for 3 hours. Who cares?
We get there early when the crowd hasn't shown up yet. We had a weird thing. I think our last time there, the guy who was Frankenstein, he walks around Frankenstein. He had a mask on. Whatever. Hey, some people want to still wear them. That's fine.
He had a COVID mask over his Frankenstein outfit? And this was recent?
Recent. Not that long ago. A couple months ago. And he had his mask on, and he was still Frankenstein with the mask on. And my daughter was just like, can I get I said, hey, my daughter wants to get a picture with you. And he's like, he was saying that, I don't want to take my mask down. But he was doing it in Frankenstein speak. He didn't break character. He's like, I don't know what's happening. This is all just too. So I said, forget it, honey. We'll go find Scooby-Doo or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those types. I remember we were at Disney skating on ice, and our Section 1 year passes.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I loved it. It was when the kids were little, and I loved it because we would just go for a few hours and not have that feeling of and then when we didn't have it, I would buy the ticket. I'm like, you guys, I remember I just had this panic as they got older that I was I'm missing out because I've worked so much. So I remember one time I'm like, you guys, we're missing school on a Wednesday because I heard Wednesday's the best day because it's in the middle of the week.
Right.
We're missing school on a Wednesday. We are doing the Hopper. And we're fucking killing it. We are going on every ride.
Wow.
And
that's nice of you.
It feels like an accomplishment when you're counting. You're I went on 8 rides. We killed it.
Yeah.
It was like a job. And I was just oh my God. And then there just came a time where they were I'm hey, this summer, do you guys want to, I'm would you want to go? And they just are no. And I remember one time Drake was it's just not fun to go with my mom anymore.
Oh, that's sad, right?
It's sad, but now I'm like
Yeah.
not sad those days are over. Because I never went to any of those places from about like 14 to
Yeah.
40 or whatever, 37. I never went. I never went for fun with 20-year-olds. I never went like in college. I never went as a like, and so then I did it then hardcore 10 years.
Good.
And now
Did
I'm
you ever
like
go to
done.
Halloween Horror Nights or whatever?
Oh, we did that.
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
So we did all the things.
Universal Studios is top notch. It's great.
We did all the things. This was funny. We're talking about Yi. Yi walked off Piers Morgan's show because Piers says, this was so funny. Piers is like, he's with us, like whoever this handler is. And he's like, looks like they're in Capri or something. And of course, because as you're in, a hot area, you're still wearing like a hoodie and everything.
Outfit. Yeah.
And Piers goes, Kanye, what is going on? You still have, you have 38 million followers. And he's like, no, can you not count? And he goes, what? It's not 38. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, no, you didn't prepare for this interview, and therefore I'm leaving. And like, fuck you, Piers. And Piers is like, well, this is what my people gave me. It was 38. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. You're at 39 million now. Congratulations. He's like, too fucking late.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's
Yeah.
because he was 1 million off.
Yeah. Oh, a million's a million.
And he's like, learn how to count next time, and
Yeah.
maybe you could interview me. Okay, let me see what else there is to talk about. Oh, I have to talk to you about this. Okay, so the kids don't like to drink as much anymore.
No, nobody's drinking.
Nightclubs, bottle service girls.
Yeah, what's happening to bottle service guys?
Okay, so
What's happened to those things they used to bring out, like it's sparklers? Like, are they just now thrown aside? Remember, if you really were like a big baller in Vegas?
well, after we say goodbye to you, I have this interview that they're going to be able to hear today on Thursday, with the stars of Vanderpump Villa, and the girl who is kind of the breakout star of it. She grew up in Vegas and was a Vegas bottle girl, and loungy and all that.
Yeah.
So afterwards, I go, what is the vibe in Vegas? I'm hearing all these things. And she's like, oh my God, Vegas bottle girls used to make a couple grand a night, $3-4 a night.
Yeah, I bet.
And now it's like barely 300.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, I think it's because the millennials and older that made bottle service and get a night, get your group together, and you got to spend, those people are over it.
Yeah.
And they have kids and they don't care to go.
Nobody's doing that.
And it's something that like the Gen Zs, they're just like, why would we do this?
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of great. Kind of sad for the
I
feel bad for like the nightclub people, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, why would I ever want like my sons to be like, hey girls, come over here, and my
got a carafe of cranberry, carafe of orange juice, carafe of soda. Oh, we used to, in our Chelsea Lately days, of course.
No, we were never paying for it, so it was fun.
So great. Go in that carafe, of cranberry.
I never had experience because I missed it. I was in my Gen Z age. I'd go to a nightclub, and it was before bottle service.
Yeah.
So when we would go to a nightclub, or something, it would really be like people dancing. Maybe you get a drink at a bar. Maybe there's a restaurant.
Yeah.
But there wasn't this come to the table with that. The first time I ever saw make your own drink with that orange juice cranberry soda was Chelsea was doing stand-up like the first couple months in like a Vegas comedy festival.
Right.
And she like invited the staff. And I remember the kids were little. I hadn't partied in like 10 years. And I was like, Peter and I came, and I remember I was to Ted, the president of E.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do we split this up? I was literally like, how do I pay you for this?
Right.
And I'm not that obviously it's being comped and obviously she just performed, but I still was like, I didn't even understand how like people would treat people and pay for like, it was just such a baller thing. And so I was already too old to be at the club, but the only time I went was like with like where we would do that thing
did it a bunch of times,
and it would be really fun. And and I don't know what those places are going to do now.
I feel like it's so of the time, like bottle service seems so early 2000s.
I feel like it's like 2000 like 5 or 4 to like 2000. 17 was
Right.
like the jam.
Yeah, like Paris Hilton,
Yes.
that era, and now that's all gone. Like, no, it don't seem cheesy to be bottle service now.
Yeah. And so anyway, they're doing morning sober sauna raves. So I've seen a lot of this type of stuff where it's like still calm and we're going to like have the killer DJ and you can meet people and you can dance, but it's going to be like a healthy thing. So it's like get your coffee and your matcha.
Yeah.
What is the vibe? Why is matcha such a thing?
I don't know. This is
Does it have
ruining-
is it better for you? Does it have caffeine in it? I know it's green and it's
Yeah,
cute,
it's cute. Yeah.
but I don't get like what.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't-
Well, so the kids are going, and
I get it.
I
And
think
there's
it's
a lot
great.
Of,
As long as you're getting out of the house and meeting people, I don't think you need to go to a nightclub and spend $5,000 while you're in
New
Vegas.
York City and Long Island, they're doing ones now. The nightclub goes from like 5 to 9.
5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
To 9 p.m.
That I want to
Yeah,
go to.
I know. And they're packed with like bunch of old people. They
Yeah,
love
the
it.
thing is, the Gen Xers still want to rip it.
I know.
We still want to drink. We still want to
play some
dance.
Tears for Fears and let's go.
And you know what we really love is we love a DJ that does take our songs and
Yeah.
hip them up.
Mm-hmm.
I love a DJ. I don't need a traditional. I don't need to hear the entire song.
No.
Let me just hear a little.
mix in some-
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Let's go to the sober sauna rave.
They had that scene in Hacks when they went to a nightclub.
That's when I was like, oh, this show just drives me nuts.
And they went to the
And
fountain.
the DJ calls her up on stage, and I'm like, what world are we living in? I just don't get it.
Well, but she also was, famous in Vegas at that
I know,
time.
but not to the DJ in a club. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all too, I don't know. I know maybe I'm being too critical.
Chris, I want to say goodbye to you. We're going to enjoy this really juicy interview with the Vanderpump Villa
Got it.
stars who tell a lot. And it was very enjoyable. Even if you're not watching the show, you guys will find this funny and juicy and insightful. But Chris, before we go, tell everybody quickly where they can find you this weekend and beyond.
This, the next one is, of course, sorry.
It's okay.
Oh.
You guys, it's Franjola.fun.
Franjola.fun.
And now tell us where you are.
Parkway Theater in Minneapolis, May 22nd. Parkway Theater, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It's called The Plus. Come to that. That's Friday, May 23rd. And Diamond Joe Casino in Dubuque, Iowa is May 24th. That's a fun run. Then I come Comedy Vault in Batavia. I love it there. Outside of Chicago. Comedy Vault Batavia, June 6th and 7th. Magoobies in Baltimore, June 13th and 14th. And the Grand Comedy Club in Escondido, California, June 20th and 21st. Then I'm off for the summer. Off July and August, enjoying my life.
And now for my interview with the stars of Vanderpump Villa. I want to tell you guys, I have been loving using Go Pure. I use it every morning and every night on my neck and my décolleté. And I cannot tell you how different my skin feels to my hand. Like, it feels so much softer, so much more hydrated. And I absolutely love it. And I want you guys to try it because you will feel the same way. Go Pure isn't just about transforming the skin on your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to tighten, lift, and smooth skin from head to toe. From powerful targeted body creams to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizers, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients that deliver real results. Tighten, lift, and restore elasticity in your neck because your skincare routine shouldn't stop at your jawline. For a limited time, our Juicy Scoop listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code JuicyScoop at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com, use code JuicyScoop, and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask you where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from me, Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I'm wearing my hot pink Lisa Vanderpump. Hot pink, it's my signature color, darling, because I'm with two. I don't know if I can say they're my best employees. They're my employees. They have been my employees. We're here from Vanderpump Villa, Hannah and Hagen.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I love your names. You sound like two little Dutch twins, two little blonde Dutch twins.
Yeah, honestly, that's what we are.
We are.
Did you become close on the show?
We're like
Yeah, a little too
married.
close. I think the amount of times I saw her vagina and tits, it was like
we made
scary.
out. We had a makeout session.
Wait.
My tongue was down his throat.
They didn't show it.
They didn't show it,
Thank
but
God.
For fun, or you were testing out a lavender marriage?
maybe a lavender marriage.
No, it was for fun. We were playing spin the bottle in the car, and she just stuck her tongue down. You have a long tongue, so I was like, actually, no, I don't know. It was kind of gross, but
Have you been with girls besides Hannah?
Yeah, he is.
I've kissed girls, never like down under, but I don't think I need to after seeing what you have down there.
Fuck you. I'm trying to find a boyfriend, and that's what you say?
Sometimes it's just scary to certain kinds of guys.
Yeah, he's definitely.
That's why you're gay.
Yeah.
I assume you're gay. What if you're like, no, I'm straight? Why are you talking
Actually,
about
Hannah showed me her sex tape with Marciano.
that? Wait, so, okay, let's, I want to hear about that. Why do you have a sex tape
was the
with your
ugliest
ex-boyfriend?
Can you stop?
How vivid was the sex tape?
It was like the ugliest angle. Like,
Where was it from?
it was like here, and all you can see is her prickly vagina, and you just see like an object moving in and out.
Why did you show it to him?
I don't know. Was I drunk?
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of other people on that Dom, he was one of the chefs on the show.
Yes.
He actually showed me one of his bulge pics
Oh, he did
in
show
Vegas.
that. Yeah.
So people
Bulge
just like,
pics, does that mean you're just being polite and it's not a dick or it's not a naked dick?
it's not a naked, like you see it through the pants.
Oh,
So
like
that's
one
his,
of
I
those
thought
like
he showed his
sweatpants
dick.
thing.
No, yeah, it's just
Oh.
sweatpants. I don't know why people think they can show me it, but I always look, you know? If you're going to
Yeah.
show me, I'll watch.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys a little bit about your background. Hannah, you were on the first season, which this is on Hulu, Vanderpump Villa. And for those of you that are not watching this show, you can still listen to this podcast because it's going to be fun and interesting. You don't have to know every little nuance of all the characters because there's enough juice that it doesn't matter. So the first one was a villa in France.
Yes.
And it's basically like Below Deck, but on land, mixed with Vanderpump Rules. So if you have a cast of characters that work, then the Below Deck part of it is that just like Below Deck, people come and are guests, except instead of a boat, they're on the villa for
Yeah.
like 3 days.
Right.
And you have to make their experience great. But they don't do the tipping at the end. Instead, they do a comment card where then someone gets the highest score because at the end, another element of great reality TV is there is a financial prize at the end for who is the best employee.
Mm-hmm.
You get $30,000, but then you also get a permanent or a more substantial position in Lisa's
Yes.
empire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were on the first one. You were not, Hagen. Hannah was.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me a little bit, Hannah, like what was your relationship with acting, the media, reality TV, social media? Like how did you end up being a waiter on a TV show?
So I worked with Marciano at
Who is your boyfriend?
was my
your
boyfriend. Well, ex-boyfriend at the
Okay.
time.
The sex tape one.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Ex-boyfriend at the time. We still worked together. But Steven, he was on the first season with us.
okay.
Marciano always served Steven. So Steven
What
said,
restaurant were you guys at?
we were at Jing in Las Vegas. It's
Oh,
in
okay.
downtown Summerlin. It's like
Okay.
a loungy nightclub thing.
Did you grow up in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I know. So I've been there for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and then Steven was like, Marciano, you'd be great to audition for this show for Lisa, because he worked at Vanderpump Cocktail Garden
In Vegas.
in Vegas.
Okay.
So Marciano auditions, and I think like I overheard him like in the back, like being like, yeah, like I would swing both ways. And I'm like, who are you talking to? He's like, oh, the talent. Like they asked if I'd like guys on the show too.
That's what Marciano and
I
Marciano
think
said
they
he would.
thought
He said that?
Steven told them like, yeah, he would like swing both ways. I don't know.
But you don't think he does? You think
No.
he was just saying that to add a
To
a
like
check to his interesting profile?
exactly.
Okay.
Then he found me because Lisa needed more people. Then I auditioned.
Then Steven said you should see this pretty girl.
Yeah, it's his
Okay.
ex-girlfriend. They're very like toxic.
Oh, so at that time, before the show ever began, you were already broken up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
So
how
I'm
long
like-
had you dated before this?
4 years.
Oh, so now, obviously, you probably heard that the immediate comparison is you were the Stassi and Jax.
Yes.
And what's crazy with Marciano is if you're not looking at the TV, he sounds just like Jax.
Mm-hmm.
His voice.
He's like, "What up, brother?"
His
They
voice,
also
his
kinda look.
cadence, everything.
Yeah.
He has dark hair. You're blonde.
Botox.
Blue eyes.
Botox.
Stassi. What?
Botox, like
Yeah.
spray tan, all of that.
Yeah. So how old is he?
He's 32,
And how old are you?
29. I'm going to be 30 in June.
And why did you guys break up?
He cheated on me.
Oh, God, just like Stassi and Jax.
Yeah, and it was just compound of things like the lying and stuff. And then we were working together. It's just toxic.
Were you a fan of Vanderpump Rules?
I was.
So you watched it.
Yeah. So I thought, I was like, okay, why not get under his skin? Because he's like, you're probably not going to get it.
But had you ever thought of trying out for any other reality shows, not Bachelor or Bachelorette
Never.
or anything?
No.
What were your aspirations prior to this show coming?
So I
your
went
lap?
to hair school. It just didn't, I wasn't into it that much. So then I was serving in the clubs for a while. Then I went to a lounge. And then, this fell on my lap. So I know. It's crazy.
So you didn't go to college?
No.
You just wanted to be in the service because of Vegas.
I was making so much
lucrative.
money.
It's so lucrative.
Yeah, I was making like $100K when I just turned 21, like a year.
Doing like the bottle
Just bottle
service.
service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, why would I leave this,
So now let's switch to you a little bit. I loved your intro because it's like I had a job in finance, but I quit it to be a housekeeper because technically your job at the villa is housekeeping.
Yeah.
How did this all come about for you? And like, what was your relationship with like reality TV and acting?
So I've always loved reality TV. Like growing up, I'd always watch it.
Where did you grow up?
Houston, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Yeehaw. And so I went to school. I got a degree in supply chain management, and I was actually working in finance as a capital planning analyst for like a big semiconductor place, whatever. And so
Were
I
you
was
making a
working
good
there.
salary?
Yeah, I was making a good salary.
So you're
And
going to an office every day,
going to the office.
living, just living a normal white
Yes.
collar
and
life.
it was really fun. I do like, and I miss the stability of it.
Uh-huh.
But I will say, I've applied to shows in the past. I never really got far. I think I got
What
an
shows
interview.
do you apply to?
I got an interview for the Squid Game Netflix one, and
Uh-huh.
then they ended up canceling my interview. I was like, okay, whatever. And so I would apply to stuff. I always wanted to do Survivor. Like I would love to go on an island, get skinny, and get tanned, and get paid $1 million. Like that's honestly
that
the dream.
was more what you wanted to do.
No, that's
yeah.
more I wanted to do.
So how did this one come about?
I got an email because I guess since I've applied to stuff in the past, you just are on a mailing list. And so I saw Vanderpump Villa, and I didn't watch Vanderpump Rules before, but I know I'm online. I know the lore of stuff. And so I looked and saw they needed a housekeeper. And actually in college, to make more money to like go drink at the bars, I was a housekeeper for this gay couple. So I'd go to their house like twice a week and
Is that really
just
all you
clean.
were doing?
No, I will say.
Yeah, please tell. Do you have a sex tape with them? Anything?
Do you have a French maid's costume that you were wearing?
No, so I will say they were a really sweet couple, and they never like asked me to
Be a third.
and I would never, but it was kind of the thought. It's like, do they not think I'm attractive? You know, like, do I not? Is my ass not nice enough? Do
Or
I
were
not
you
look?
such a good housekeeper they didn't want to fuck it up?
I know, yeah,
They
it
don't
was
want to make
definitely.
business with
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that kind of gets me. It's kind of humbling. I'm wait, right? They didn't even want to.
So you were basically just cleaning, but how did you learn how to clean?
well, growing
You
up,
have a mom that made you do chores?
yeah,
Oh,
actually,
good.
my dad, I have an older sister and a younger brother. And so my dad said the only reason he had 3 kids was so he had like free housekeepers. And also in case
that's
one of us
beautiful.
died,
I love
he would
that.
have 2 of us left. And so growing up, we'd always do a
What
bunch
religion are you?
of Catholic.
Oh, how do you feel about our new pope? You know about our new pope?
Yeah, from Chicago.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's crazy.
My
I haven't
mom
heard
is
him
like
speak
dancing
yet.
in heaven.
Oh,
she's,
my gosh.
She's kind of from Chicago. Like she
Right.
met my dad in Chicago.
What
but,
part?
The main like
Oh,
the heart
downtown.
of the city. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
So okay, continue. So that's of course you're a throwaway child, whatever. Who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
Yeah,
so
love
I
it.
was a housekeeper in college, and I saw this audition thing. And I was like, you know what? So I applied, and a few days later, I got a call, and then it was just like a 3-4 month process of interviewing. And then finally, I got to go meet Lisa. I'm like, hi, hi, Lisa. And then I ended up getting it, and then I had to quit my job. It was one of those things when the whole casting process, my boss, he was like, oh, you'll probably just be able to take a leave of absence. You know, I was like, okay, yeah. And then I get the show. I have 2 weeks before I fly out. I'm like, hey, so I need to go do this in 2 weeks. Y'all have 2 weeks to let me know like what the vibe is. And then the day before I'm supposed to fly out, they say, hey, so we declined your leave of absence. And I'm like, okay, so what are my options? You know, because ideally I would go film the show, go back to my job.
And how
you know?
long was the filming process?
It was only 6 weeks. So it wasn't
6
like
weeks.
that crazy. And so the day before I'm supposed to leave, they are like, hey, so we declined it. And I'm like, right. So I end up quitting my job. I had 2 months left in my lease in Dallas. And so I paid it all off, moved all my stuff home in Houston, and then flew off to Europe. And then I was there like 90 days because after we filmed, I went and backpacked with some friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And before you did it, did you imagine like, okay, let me just think of all the scenarios of how my life could change. I could be part of the worst thing ever, Scandal, but that could also result in me being a huge star selling merch, you know, to send it to Daryl for 200,000. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was your mind? What ifs were you thinking before you went?
Honestly, my mind was racing, but I feel like my job made the decision easy for me by not giving me a decision, you know?
Yeah.
And my parents are always supportive. I did theater growing up. I did improv in college. So I've always done the theatrics and stuff.
Yes. I mean, you could do the
And
splits.
so,
I saw the dance
yeah, I
routine.
can do the splits, unfortunately. So
Why, unfortunately?
I don't know. I need to pull it out more often. When I was in
Do you want to do them?
no. In college at the bars, I used to just like jump and do the splits. And so my hips kind of hurt now. But,
Oh, okay.
No.
So anyway, you were saying,
oh yeah, so they made the decision easy by not
Yeah.
giving me a decision, and it was one of those things where it's like, why not? I can always go back to corporate. I have a year under my belt at a company. I have a good degree, and so why not? And like worst comes to worst, like what's the worst outcome? I
Right.
get killed.
You met me.
Yeah, that is the worst outcome.
I think what's really interesting is that like when Vanderpump started, like 15 years ago, when I've interviewed a lot of them, they were all aspiring actors. And so it was like a big no-no. If you were to go be on a reality show, it's going to screw up like being a legit actor. But now the way entertainment is honestly in a shithole, I think it's probably the only way you can like break into it.
Right.
And the other thing I think is interesting is, you know, everyone's growing up where every single thing they film their kid. So you guys have been probably online since you were like middle school or younger. So you share so much about your life online anyway that I don't think it seems that crazy as a young person. Like I think it's hard for them now to get like really rich housewives because all of a sudden the skeletons come out or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that she was married 3 times. She only said she was married once. And because their life was private for the first 30 years of their life or whatever. But for you guys, I don't think it's like that big of a deal to have the cameras follow you. And I think that's something that, you know, why more shows are going to start popping with younger people too.
Right.
Because it's like you're already on there and this is just a way to raise your brand or awareness to be a spokesperson or a model or whatever.
Right.
And there's so many shows. So if you do one and you are terrible on it, people forget about you in a few weeks.
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
no
it's
one
not that
cares.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're going to talk shit for like maybe 2 weeks. And then once the show like is over, no one cares.
It's like, who are you? It's
Yeah, like,
just
who
go
are
back
you?
to
How do you
normal
feel
life.
about like when you read the comments and stuff? Has there been any comment that really upset you or made you laugh or
I fucking love it, but it's until they mention like my mother or anything, like I get mad about that. But
what happened with your mom?
well, there was like a comment by Gabriella. She was like, if I was Hannah's mom, I'd be so disappointed in her.
Oh.
But a lot of people like say that. I just got one last night, but I'm like, whatever. You're behind a fucking computer
Right.
writing this. I don't care. I used
Good
to.
attitude.
Yeah.
Good attitude.
I love it.
I mean, I finally got that attitude like 2 weeks ago.
Well, congrats.
I've let it affect me a lot
Yeah.
more, and it's funny when you get over something like that. It's the same way you get over like an old boyfriend. You're like, I can't believe I like pined over that person, was crying and gave up like a sunny weekend to be depressed. Like,
Right.
it's the same thing once you realize like how little it matters. And even the whole cancel culture thing is not the power that it used to
Right.
because everyone just decided we're not playing into this anymore
Yeah.
from corporations to individuals. So it's like the minute you kind of say that, it's like, I can't believe I ever let it bug me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really bugged me the first season, but now I'm like, okay, keep talking about me. 'Cause
Yeah.
The more that people are talking about you, I think it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if
True.
it's negative.
True. And so then you fly over. Now, the first season, they only kept like a couple people from the first season, right? You and the ex-boyfriend Marciano.
Gabriella, Grace, Andre, and Chef Anthony.
Oh, they kept all those people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so now you're in Italy. What month were you guys filming this?
August.
It was so.
So hot.
I know. I was there in July, and even south of France to me was much cooler.
Yeah.
Temperature wise. And then we went over to Italy. It was the first time I'd ever really done Italy.
You
And
can even wear makeup.
I mean, I thought it was,
yeah.
it makes it that, I mean, I know it's so amazing, but I'm like, I don't know. Like it kind of makes you not want to go there
I know.
again when
I
you have
know.
like a memory of just like enormous heat.
So many stairs.
Yeah, we are
so
like
hot.
big 4 stories, and you're just walking around all the time.
Mhm.
And I've actually
I
never
lost,
looked
like,
worse
15
in my
pounds.
life than on the show. And so it's so
We're
awesome
like
that
dripping
that's
sweat like a
forever.
pig. Like it's just,
Yeah.
And then you guys, I noticed you have like different outfits for each day. Also
Mhm.
like a below deck. Well,
Mhm.
below deck doesn't really do that, but I've been on a billionaire's yacht,
Oh,
and they have
wow.
different
Can we come with
outfits
you?
every. I don't. It's amazing, but she is very stylish. The woman who has the boat, and the girls wear really cute outfits,
Mhm.
and every day it's a different. And they're like spaghetti strap and little skirts, and
yeah.
so I like that you guys had like different dresses and stuff. I thought that made it cute.
yeah. No, I love the color.
So let's get into the juice of what happened. Now, everyone's talking about the mom talk people
Mm-hmm.
that came, and I interviewed Demi and on this show along with Jennifer Affleck,
Yeah.
who was here. And they're entering their second season also on Hulu. And they're all beautiful. The 2 girls are hard to tell apart.
Yeah.
Demi and what's the other girl's
Jessie.
name?
Jessie.
Jessie. And Jessie's a little bit older, in her 30s, and she's the hairdresser. And Demi is very pretty, and she's married to this divorced dad. I mean, he came with kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who's very good looking too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that he was going to be the Bachelor?
I knew that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And she and her husband at the time suggested him.
That's crazy.
And then they got divorced, and then they got together.
Wow.
And what I found so fascinating is like being raised Catholic, like I was always told, like Mormon is way more extreme as far as like rules and conservativeness. Yet there is so much divorce
Mm-hmm.
so
in
much.
modern Mormonism. And I'm like, I thought the whole point is that you were sealed for the rest of your life. So now you have to unseal it. Like
Right.
you have to steam open the envelope. I don't know. Like I'm just like, it's that part is like crazy to me. I'm like, so you don't drink and you won't have a cup of coffee,
No.
but you'll get married like 4 times,
And
but just not have sex before you marry that person.
I think it's called soaking.
Yeah, the soaking thing, which has been fascinating. People have been talking about that for a while, but I feel like Mormons are like taking over reality TV. They must have a good,
Everyone's obsessed with it.
they must have a good, well, I think it's a few reasons. One is the Mormon religion, is like, well, we're going to get more people interested in Mormonism than if we send everybody out on bicycles knocking on doors. So spread the word on social media, spread the word on reality shows, which again, I would have thought it would have been the opposite.
Right.
It's like Scientology doesn't want anyone to, know the dark side of Scientology. Like, don't talk about Scientology. If you're a Scientologist, make sure your friend doesn't talk about it on their show. But the Mormon thing is like, no, talk about it. Like, we want people to join it. It's very interesting. But
Did you
anyway,
watch the Ruby Frankie documentary?
yes.
That was
one
crazy.
was crazy.
Yeah, that was really,
That's sick
That was,
and twisted.
yeah, that's what was
But
kind of
Mormons
crazy.
are like in right now. The Mormon wives and Ruby Frankie.
Yeah,
They
that's
should do
what
a
I'm saying.
collab.
There's
They're
a
in
lot.
prison.
There's a lot. So I went to Sheena Shea's birthday party last night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really fun. And, it was basically most of the people from the Valley,
Mm-hmm.
except the 2 girls, Kristen and the other girl who are about to give birth, but, and Sheena. But Demi was there with her a very attractive husband. They're probably out here doing press as well. And I did say, what is all this I'm hearing about this Marciano on the villa? Because I'm going to be interviewing the cast. And she said something to the effect of like, it was just overblown and he crossed the bound. She said something like he crossed the boundaries or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the story? So the Mormons come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, because the girl has to move to Arizona.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that really happens because her husband is becoming a doctor. And so they have a fun thing and they're all beautiful. Which ones drank?
Only Jessie. drinks.
Okay, the
And does
hairdresser.
Layla? I forgot.
Maybe a little bit. I think
feel
some
like
of them
Layla
drink.
got a little few
Yeah.
drinks. And Layla was
Okay.
the only single one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And so she is flirting with the bartender guy
Sam.
who had was having like a one time or a
Friends
booty
with
call with
benefits,
the other girl.
yeah.
Right.
And so that was pretty funny what you came up with that. Did you come up with that on your own when you
He's
said
so
never
messy.
have I ever? Have you did that?
Yeah. I mean, I like starting
That's-
the pot and I like watching
that's
other
clever.
people crumble.
Yeah.
And they did.
The producers must love you.
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
They
good.
Bring me back, but they actually kissed twice.
Bring me back.
Like the second when I asked that, they like kissed and then they did it again because I think someone else dared them.
Yeah,
And so
like they
Alyssa,
couldn't.
the server who was with Sam, the guy that kissed Layla, she like ran off in the woods for a little bit.
Yeah, crying.
Right. We see that.
I'm like, way to go, Hagen. Woo.
But
I mean,
that
No,
that
it
was
was
great
good.
though, because
Yeah.
it's like it was sexy and like all of that.
Now, I don't know why she was upset because I'm like, you guys hooked up once. You guys have only known each other for a week. Like, who cares?
But hook up once, that
Yep.
does mean full bone, or we don't know.
I know
Did
they
they
did.
bone?
Or just soak?
They did it. Yeah.
Just soak.
From
it.
what I know, I think they started full boning near the end. So not at that time. So
I
think
walked
at
in
the
on
When it
time
was
they were
only
just
one
kissing.
bone.
I walked in on them.
But full bone?
Yeah, she was on. Yeah,
She was on top.
yeah.
Oh.
Awesome.
Okay, you could ask. Like awkward.
Right.
Okay, so then okay,
Yeah.
so with Debbie with this guy, I'm watching it and it seemed like he just was like, we have chemistry. And then they had one conversation and she did say, well, I think I made a mistake with my husband all the time. And she's just being really honest, you
Mhm.
know, but I'm sure that's not comfortable now.
Yeah.
But he was with her last night, so I guess they're fine. What was it that so we don't see them kiss, do anything.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, let's keep in touch. And she goes, definitely.
And I will say in the villa, that one clip of them sitting outside chatting, they were out there for like 3-4 hours. So it was a
Together.
very long, because we were upstairs with Jen and Michaela.
Yeah, because they were freaking out. They're like, why is she down there for so long? It was like 4-hour conversation they had. So it's like clipped down to like
I know,
2
I want to
minutes.
see the whole. I want to see
I
the
wanna
whole
see the whole
conversation because
conversation.
Marciano then cries when she leaves.
Yeah. Like he's super emotional.
I think
Why do you think he was so like boom with this girl that comes on the show? Like first I didn't think it was real, but now I obviously think it's real.
Well, I think Marciano's
Yeah.
a troubled boy, and I think Demi was kind of acting as some sort of like therapist. Like I think they were talking through their traumas and like getting
Oh.
deep and learning about his past and talking
She does
about
all that
you.
ketamine. Yeah. Doesn't she,
She
do
does
ketamine?
ketamine?
Yeah, she says that on the show.
No, the therapy.
Yeah, the therapy.
Oh,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
right. They go to some. That's
I-
the other
I
thing.
need it.
If you go to Utah, I remember when I was doing stand-up shows there are a million billboards about drug addiction, pill addiction,
Mm.
because they don't drink,
Yeah.
they don't have coffee, so lots of times they try other things that aren't a no in the Book of Mormon because they weren't invented yet,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I say we
Right.
let them have pills. If Mormons want to have pills,
They'd be great.
someone has to take the pills.
So how, like, being that he's your ex and he cheated on you, did you
Mhm.
know? Was it one person he cheated on with, or throughout the relationship was many times?
I mean, he's just done things that, yeah, like I just found one and then like
Okay.
we ended it. But I mean, he's done things.
Did you
that
live
are-
together?
Yeah, we did.
Did you think you were going to marry him?
I did. Yeah, because
How
I
did you
actually,
find out he was cheating?
so I actually broke off my engagement
You were engaged to someone else.
when I was 25.
Who was that guy?
I'm not gonna say.
He's
Like,
Irish.
He,
Don't
lives,
say
he
his
was
name,
Irish,
but
yeah.
just say, like, describe.
But he lives in Vegas. He's a great. Him and I are still friends. But I mean, I was really young, and then
Uh-huh.
I started working at Jing, and I met Marciano, and I was just having fun. He made me feel good, and I was like, oh my god, like who is this guy? Broke off my engagement. Him and I ended up getting together like maybe 2 weeks after I was done. So I was like going through that, and then I was like, okay, like this is endgame. Here he is. Like he was so great. Then 6 months later, it was so
I mean, when
toxic.
you end your engagement with one guy at 25 and then you get with another guy
Who's not smart.
essentially a waiter, like, I mean, is there any thing of like, okay, if I'm going to marry someone, like, I would like it to elevate my lifestyle, or did you not
Right.
think like that? You
Now
only-
I do.
Okay.
Now I want someone to elevate my lifestyle. But at the time, I think I was just and my confidence was down. So I'm like, oh, this guy's being nice. He's giving me attention.
Why was your confidence down?
I don't know. I gained a bunch of weight when I was 25, and I was just not in a good place.
So you were heavier and he was hitting on you and you're like, I can't believe someone likes me fat.
Were you ever fat?
I think like I was like
She's
15.
like 5 pounds. Like, babe, chill.
I was
Like,
a little
yeah, what
bigger.
are we talking?
I was a little bigger. Like, you can ask Marciano. I swear.
He'll tell me.
Okay.
So you have this meeting with Lisa and you're like, you're such an inspiration to me and you're crying and she's, being very motherly as she has been with all of the people that we've seen in her previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? How did you then get let go?
So I was really annoyed because I was like, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun and drink.
Oh, on a night off.
Yeah. So we all go to the lake. And Sienna actually is just,
And she's another girl working at your level.
yes.
Uh-huh.
She, again, starts crying. She's upset. Like, it's another thing. Like, because she just keeps talking about Ciotti.
And that's the other guy. They're a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I
he's
can't believe their
faking an
names are
accent,
Ciotti and
Sienna.
Sienna.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lisa says early on, when I interviewed him, he had an accent and I thought he was from South Africa or something. Didn't she say that?
Yeah, I think it
And
was
then,
South.
so he was pulling a Hilaria Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was doing it to seem maybe more exotic to get the show, do you think?
I don't know. It was just really
What was
creepy.
I think what he talks about later in the show is about how he like code switches. So depending on who he's around, he'll like switch his accent to that.
Oh, that's the new thing people are saying to get away with.
What is code switching?
That it's a new thing people are saying to be like a Hilaria Baldwin.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
know Hilaria Baldwin.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. I mean, she just came out with a book and I'm like, are you going to address it? Like, it's fucking weird that you just
Yeah.
decide to tell the world that you're like from Spain when you're not.
Yeah.
Like, please just explain that. And if you don't explain it, don't write a book. Like, I might go read it this weekend just to like find something in there because
Yeah.
it makes more sense if he did it to get on a show
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't like keeping it going for years behind like people in his life. So what is the truth?
We still don't know because he does get fired on the show, and then the reunion came out yesterday. He wasn't there,
Oh,
and so
Mhm.
they said,
do you think he's just a major grifter?
I don't know. Someone DM'd Lexi, she's the bartender on the show, and said, "Hey, he actually went to my high school in North or South Carolina. This is his real name. He didn't have an accent there."
Yeah.
So I don't really know, honestly.
We need to pull it up.
I know.
Did you like him otherwise?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We had a lot of other
Ugh.
issues because in their relationship, she would always go and be like, "He sucks. He's saying all these mean things," and then she
abusive,
gets
So they
back-
were sleeping together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they get hired together?
Yeah.
I mean, were they a couple
They knew
before?
each other before, but they claimed to not have hooked up before. They were like friendly, but I think
Okay.
she got him the job in the first place. So I
Got
think
it.
their plan was to go on the show and hook up and win money. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they screwed the first night, didn't they?
One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if someone you might as well. I
I
guess.
know.
So, but they're not together anymore.
No.
And did she went on the reunion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was fired too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how many people were left at the end?
Well, we
6
started
people
with
got fired.
we started with 17, which is so many. 6 people got fired, and then we got 2 more.
Okay,
so
we'll get back to why you got fired.
So then I'm at the lake. I'm consoling her for
Okay.
the 100th time. We get back to the house. Me and the girls go topless into the pool with Hagen. I leave. I go to the bar. And
Now, when the cameras are filming and you decide to go topless,
uh-huh.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna I always feel this way about Below Deck too. Like they're literally showing them like fucking, like
Yeah.
I don't know. Should you save that for the OnlyFans? I mean, I feel like why are you giving it all away? Or does that help an OnlyFans? Or do you have an OnlyFans?
I don't have an OnlyFans.
Marciano.
Yeah, Marciano
Her.
has an OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. We were all wasted.
and you really do forget the cameras are there.
Yeah, like I don't even know they're in front of me. Yeah, I mean, we all just took off our tops.
Great.
I know.
Well, so I mean, a lot of housewives do it too. It's not
Yeah.
a big deal. But I just was curious. Okay, continue. So
So
you jump in the pool, titties out.
then I go down to the bar,
Okay.
and Dom comes down and he says, Sienna's in Ciotti's room. After I just had like an hour conversation telling her to move her stuff into my room, all of this stuff. I go upstairs. I'm like, what are you doing? I freak out. Then I go back downstairs and Dom says that I made her throw up. So I sprint upstairs. Marciano sprints out after me.
Made her throw up like she has an eating disorder, or she was so wasted, or she was so upset.
So upset.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knock on the door,
Mhm.
but I open it. She's in the shower. But
Okay.
she continues a conversation with me. So I shut the door immediately. I'm talking to her. I walk out and then I just tell Ciati, fuck you, like all this stuff.
She's yelling at him and he's like, eyes
He's like
closed,
sleeping.
faking
I
it.
said, you fucking narcissist, all this.
You
And
said
I
a
said,
lot.
I said, keep one eye open.
Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
And he's like fake sleeping.
But
And she's
I
like,
was,
fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
I think I said that to Sienna. I don't
Uh-huh.
think I was saying it to Ciati. Like, because she's
But
sleeping next
is
to
it
him.
this that then gets you in trouble? Because
Marciano then goes after him.
if we weren't filming a reality show, like, then this is pretty horrible behavior to have when there's like guests, where they're not guests
No,
there.
there was no guest.
Oh, well, still, it's like,
Yeah.
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 So is that why you get called in then?
Yeah, me and Marciano get called in the next day because Marciano's screaming at him too.
Uh-huh.
And Lisa's like, you guys are done here. Yeah, I was in shock, but
I-
I mean, I understood it.
How did
but
I think the producers would be upset that you guys got fired. I'd be keeping you around.
Yeah, it was it sucked, but
So then you have to fly back home.
mhm.
And how did the reunion go? I mean, don't you think you have a chance? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, to be asked back.
I think I do. I mean,
Yeah, I
hope
think
so.
I think if there's another season, she would come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And who were the other like interesting guests besides the mom talk? It seems like only anyone's talking about is the mom talk.
We
people.
I was
had
only there for 2 guest groups, but
Yeah.
we had Polly and Cara from the challenge.
they were fun.
So
hmm
and then we had who else came? Stassi's friends, because Stassi's new show is coming out on Hulu, and so
Right.
that cast of that show came. and
Uh-huh.
They were there, and then we had like a goth.
What do you
Oh, the
think about
goth, yeah.
that whole thing about how Stassi was
Oh, the tattoo.
talking about how her husband? Now, how did the husband meet? Okay, so Stassi, it was a very funny scene, but Stassi's husband, I guess, didn't grow up with his sister. Were they like adopted or something? What's the story behind? Why did they
I don't
meet
know. I
later
think
in
there's
life?
just
I was-
like
yeah.
one's in Italy and one's in the U.S. Maybe.
Oh, okay. And so then when they connected and he got her name tattooed on him, but
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have Stassi's name on him. And it was just classic Stassi of just, being like, am I not the number one woman in your life type of thing? But it was really funny. And poor Beau is just like, who is this? But it was, reminded us of that. Yes, she's grown up, but she still is.
Yeah.
She still has.
She's still that girl,
Yeah.
So that was like pretty entertaining and
Mm-hmm.
with the friends and stuff. So so who else? So they're the challenge people. Who else?
There was this Australian DJ. There was like goth queer people. They were fun. They're very party, a lot of drinking. Then who else did we have? We had a group of LA concierges. Is that?
Yeah.
They all have like the big
boobs.
fake tits, fake everything.
Oh,
Just
that's
very
when you're
LA.
like, you need to put a top on. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, and one of the
That's a
scenes, like the
lot.
girls were walking around. The're all beautiful, very sweet, but they are wearing like the smallest tops. And I'm like, we're in a castle, babe, And there's like ghosts. There's
There's ghosts in the castle.
probably
Yeah.
there's a part where they do like Ouija board.
What kind? Who?
I think Stassi did it with
What
the,
ghosts do they think they were?
When was the castle? They told us it was like the 1700s it was built. And they used
I
to
don't
kill-
know, something like that.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
They
a
were
cool
ghost
castle.
hunting.
It was
Mhm.
huge.
Do you think if it comes back, it'll be in that same castle or somewhere else?
I think somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm hoping Spain. I want to go to the beach. I'm like, if this could be a beach vacation,
Yeah.
I'd go back.
Oh, because you were like in the countryside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
countryside.
So
And we
hot.
can't, I will say in season 1, they only left and y'all did
What?
like excursions like twice.
Twice.
But for us, we pretty much every week after the guests would leave, we would go to the lake or we'd go out into town and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It made you feel like famous because we're having like a big dinner in the middle of Orvieto and all these people are just like staring at you and they don't know who you are, but they're taking photos. Like, oh my gosh, because they see all the cameras and stuff.
Yes, they must be somebody. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have you guys been recognized just on the street?
Everyone, it's been positive. I
Uh-huh.
feel like so. Yeah, I've had a great positive experience.
Oh, you
with
were
it.
saying that you believe that Marciano, your ex,
Mhm.
was here and was supposed to go to Sheena's party, but he didn't go.
Yeah. Like he
Well, him and
didn't-
Sheena, I think Marciano was friends with Brock before, and so
Oh.
they've been friends for the past few years. And then I think Marciano, Sheena, and Demi were all friends. And then
Yeah.
last night, Demi was going to the party, so Marciano couldn't go. And
Oh.
that also happened to there's that Hulu event
Oh,
a week
yeah.
ago, and so he got disinvited
Yeah,
because
that's
is that-
the whole post that he put out saying when you get disinvited.
Oh, that Hulu event that was outside.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
With
get real.
Spencer Pratt and everybody.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, but I will say it's probably good he's
And what
not
did
at
he
these
write?
events.
He wrote, when you get disinvited to a Hulu event because you're scared what I'm going to tell your husband.
So, yeah, he's messy. He
very
likes,
messy.
I mean, he's
I think
30.
that's what she was trying to say is like he's making a bigger deal. Like, listen, you know, if the friendship was a friendship and that's all she wanted,
Mhm.
like sometimes women, you know, I think it's wrong to have any kind of emotional affair,
Yeah.
you know, but sometimes it's just like, it's, you know, it's just attention.
Yeah.
And she probably had no intention of ever
doing.
possibly getting with him or showing a tit or whatever.
Mhm.
And so that's maybe what she means, like, please. I was just like having fun with this like hot guy and like
Yeah.
and they're both so new to like being famous and stuff. It's probably like all of that kind of
Wrapped up in
chatting
it.
and talking. What do you think the future of him's about? I'm
That's-
gonna be honest, I don't think he's attractive.
Who? Marciano?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that cute. I mean, I think he was a good choice, but like I don't think he's Jax Taylor.
No,
I don't think
he
he
doesn't
has,
have
like,
that
the-
charm.
He doesn't have
Yeah.
the charm. I don't think he has the personality. I don't know.
He just likes to yell. I
He
think.
yells. He gets mad. and
When you
then-
guys were together, would he yell at
Not
you?
as no, I
Oh.
yell more. Yeah,
Oh.
like I would dominate him.
No, we were all
but-
together yesterday, and it was just me, her, and Marciano in the hotel room, and they just yell at each other. I'm like, actually, shut up. It gets to
Yeah.
a point where it's like, there's no cameras. Stop
What
yelling.
are you
'cause
guys yelling about?
He just gets under my skin. Like he'll say things.
like what? What would get on?
What did he say? I mean,
Also,
I
you
started,
started it
I
yesterday.
did start it yesterday.
Yeah, hell you.
Well, I'm just we were just talking about. He was mad about the Sheena thing, and then I'm just like, stop bringing it up. Like,
So
well,
wait, so he was going and what? Just Sheena or somebody else just text him
Yeah.
and say, "Don't go, don't come."
I don't know what it was. Did he?
I don't even know if he was invited in the
Invited.
first place, but I know he was. They were close, but I don't think they're close
The way
anymore.
I got it, okay, so I've known Sheena for years, you know, and I saw her at Stagecoach and everything, and I was at her birthday last year. But I got invited, and it was like through this like app, okay? And I'm like, oh God, not another fucking like app thing. Just tell me where it is. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's in Woodland Hills. Well, that's where I'm selling that house, but I have a house in Woodland Hills. And I'm like, oh my God, I wonder where it is. And then, but like you have to do the app thing and then like get the email and like all this other, and you know, and then it was like absolutely no plus ones. And I was like, all right, I'm fine like going alone. And so then my other friends, Brandy and Julie, I tell them, and I go, but it says no plus ones. And they're like, well, we know Sheena, you know. So Sheena's like, yeah, of course, come. She's like, I just did that because I didn't want like randos coming.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But
I
the
get
truth
that.
is, when we got there was not even anybody checking a name.
Oh, really?
No, it was really just like walking into a normal party that had like, you know,
Yeah.
nice
so you could
food
have
and
brought
drinks.
someone.
Yeah, you could have absolutely just walked in off the street.
Good to know next year. Her
Yeah, we'll come next year.
41st.
Sheena, if you're listening, no.
But I went. Yeah, probably. Maybe she did.
I wonder
say-
if he got the invite.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
We'll find out. We'll
see.
text him after this.
Is he freaking out that he's off the show and may not come back, and this fun could end for him?
Oh no, he's like confident. He's like, I'm coming back. I know it. Like I don't think he thinks that.
Yeah. He
But
was,
I don't know. Like I don't know if they are bringing him back or if he's coming. Or,
He
how many
was
new
one of the
they would
people-
want.
yeah.
that the whole season here, the 4 episodes he was on, he said, yeah, I could never get fired. I could never get fired. And they fire him. It's like, it was nice.
Humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is actually good at the job? Like actually doing the work, like really efficient.
I mean,
You got
I'm
fired, babe.
what?
You got fired.
Fuck you.
Just kidding. No, Hannah's a good server.
I'm a really good server. Like,
Okay.
yeah. And Lisa's actually taught me a lot in serving. But Gabriella's on
What
it.
has she taught you that you didn't know from being a server all the years in the past?
What's the thing the candle goes in?
Candelabra.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
So she
She
should.
would always say it, and I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, I had no idea.
Is that the only thing she taught you?
No, she taught me more, but I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
giving one.
What is something else though? Like, is there a trick that a server
She's
should
very-
know
Yeah,
that you
I
did
mean,
not know?
the whole setting, the table,
Yeah.
never knew any of that. And the first, yeah.
How did you set the table then?
Well, it's like the little spoon,
Yeah.
the little fork. I never knew that because I work in
Oh,
like
because you did
nightclub
lounge.
lounge.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of fine
Yeah.
dining from her.
I was a
which was
waiter and I
nice.
learned that. And I also learned how to fold a napkin and I still remember how to do it.
Oh yeah,
How I do this thing where then it looks like a little tent.
yeah.
Wait, what else? Oh, so what did you guys do last night? You said you had a crazy night last night.
What did we do? We,
Yeah, you ended up sharing a room with Marciano.
Shut up. He was supposed to go in his room. We all went to In-N-Out after.
After what? What
after
did you do?
where did we go? Warwick?
We
I
had a
think?
reunion party. So Stassi and Lisa were there. We all watched the reunion because it came out last night. And
Okay.
then
Where was the party at?
Gravitas in Beverly Hills. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not from the area.
Yeah.
And then we went to Sir after, and then we went to Tom Tom's. We're just
Mhm.
drinking, having fun. We went out somewhere in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now, were people approaching you there? Were
No.
they recognizing you there yet?
Did anyone at Tom Tom? They didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
someone
took a
at
couple
Sir.
pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to a nightclub. Then Marciano and Hagen was hungry, so we all walked to In-N-Out. Then walked back to the hotel.
Okay.
And then Marciano started like throwing up in my room. Yeah.
Oh, because you're so drunk? or
Yeah,
being
like
in
we
and
just
out?
drank too much.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
can't handle. He's like a 32-year-old server who can't handle his alcohol. But
So, how did your parents feel about you giving away your finance job to be a housekeeper on TV?
my parents were honestly really supportive because it's one of those things where I tried my best to keep my job, and they're like, no. So
Yeah.
my dad was like, go for it. You can always go back. And I will say, I feel like this experience has brought us closer. We've always been close, but I'm doing a lot more and saying raunchier things. Because when I'm around them, I'm like, they're Catholic. You know, I
Yeah.
have to, I mean, I'm still myself, but I'm not saying sex jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they've definitely seen a different side of me. And
Do they like watching the show?
yeah, they really like, and some of my distant relatives, like I never really came out to them because it's like I'm not close with them. So I know
Yeah.
they've watched the show and they're like, "You're gay, right?" Right? I mean, they've known, but it's like official. So shout out to Hulu for that.
It's official. Hagen is
So
gay.
what? Okay, before we wrap up, like, what do you want people? What's the best part about being on a reality show, and what's the worst?
The best part of being on a reality show, I have to say, probably meeting the people and getting to work with the crew. I love the crew you work with. And then the worst part, probably like when you're sleeping and there's a camera in your face or when the lights come on. I hate that.
While you're sleeping,
Yeah, like lights come on at 7 a.m. no matter what.
like
Automatically.
like a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very.
like you have to like clap twice to like get your lights off. And then if you start talking in your room and your lights are off, they'll turn the lights on so they could like see the conversation.
Oh.
Mhm.
I will say it's pretty
So it's
traumatizing.
a little bit more Big Brother-ish than a
Yeah.
regular reality show. Because,
Mhm.
like, yeah, with Vanderpump Rules or any other show, you go home to your apartment and sometimes they follow you, but sometimes they don't. But you're like
You get a
really
break.
on 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
Do
kind
you
of.
ever have like a day off, like off, mic off your back, and like
Mike's
for the
on.
whole 6 weeks?
hmm
Oh,
Sundays were our days where I think only half the crew was there and we were still filming and nothing would really happen, but we
Yeah.
were always mic'd up. And so sometimes in the morning I'd wake up and like start talking and they're like, "Get your mic." I'm like, "I
Yeah,
don't
they'll
wanna."
like yell at you like Mike.
You just
Well-
run away.
and then
Yeah.
what about you? What are your your favorite and the worst?
I mean, favorite. I love the camera. Like I love the attention. You know, I love performing. I love stuff like that. So
When
that
you
was
were
really
growing
fun.
up, even though you went into like finance, you said you did like theater and stuff.
Mhm.
Did you want to be, in front of the camera, but kind of afraid to pursue it? Or
Yeah, it was one of those things where I've always liked. Still don't know what I want to do, but it was one of those. I like. What am I even trying to say right now? I love the attention, and I.
I love that you're saying that and being honest,
And
like that
my-
you knew that you know that about yourself.
Yeah, it was one of those things where my parent my dad was like, honestly, just get a degree. And then with this degree, you can do anything with it. And so I have the degree. Now I'm doing this. And yeah. I don't know.
Good.
But the worst thing about it, it is a little traumatizing. And we don't have our phones. We would get our phones 10 minutes a week to call home or whatever. And all of that's like recorded. So you really can't say anything. And so you start dreaming about these people because we don't have music. They'll play music
TV,
for like 5
nothing.
minutes when we're filming like a dance sequence or something. There's no TV. And so your dreams start to, it's everyone in the cast.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's cool though. And then are you pushing like your social media? Like how are you trying to parlay this into other things?
He is really good at TikTok. Like he pushes TikToks a lot. So I'm learning from him like how to do that. He's like, "What are you doing, girl? Like you don't even know how to like take a picture." So
Yeah, anytime she does like a lip syncing thing, her lips are completely off.
whatever. At least I'm posting.
And are you guys getting a lot of people in your DMs that want to be romantic with you or asking you out or?
Not really.
Someone DM'd me and said that I reminded them of their dead friend. I was like, thank you. And a lot of people are like, can we do poppers together? Can we go to a club? Some girl invited me to her 21st birthday in Philadelphia in like October. I didn't respond to that, but I'll go maybe.
I think the only DM I had from someone was Danny Amendola and Johnny Bananas.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just like, hey girl,
Yeah.
hey girl, hey.
Well, I think, yeah, Danny lives in Austin, so. Mhm.
Well, I mean, you're so pretty. Like you've never done any like other modeling or anything?
No, nothing. Mhm.
Really? What
Yeah.
about in high school? Were you like the cheerleader, the prom queen?
No, the problem child. No, I've never done any modeling. Nothing. Hmm.
I mean, they must have been so excited when they found you guys.
Yeah, like we have a crazy one on our hands.
Yeah.
And you're 2.0.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I think the future's bright.
Hmm.
I think you guys have your heads on straight. I may never hear of you again, or you might
Fingers
be the
crossed.
biggest, or you
Fingers
might
crossed.
be the biggest things in the world.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that you did the show, and I think it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
And I think we will hear more from both of you. And I like your
you.
friendship.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for coming on Juicy Scoop. Tell
Thank
everybody
you.
where they can like follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at Hannah Fouch, 2 H's, and then TikTok at Hannah Fouch.
And I'm on TikTok and Instagram, Hagen_Bach.
Love
Thank you
that.
so much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.